So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728, and I wanted to talk about Red Table Talk. I think this would be the Girls Trip edition. I don't know how many this was. Now I've been meaning to look at Red Table Talk season 3 again, because I started looking at it I think maybe sometime in season 1, and I found that the stuff that they had in there, it was a cool series. I wanted to find out more about Will and Jada. I wanted to find out more about what was going on in their marriage, because I'm nosy, and because I like them, I like Will, and there's a lot of gossip that went around them, so I just looked at it. Anyway, I got sucked in because beyond finding out about their business, they had some really compelling stories about just in general, in terms of people who were going through domestic violence, in terms of people who were going through drug addiction, in terms of people just trying to find themselves. And I thought it was really interesting. Now, I was just kind of blown away by the amount of views that Red Table Talk is having. Now, I saw the one where there was a family Red Table Talk. Will was there, and I heard about it, but I hadn't. And yes, it was about the coronavirus and what you need to know about coronavirus. But I was just surprised that it had 114 million views. Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. I was like, what? I mean, the highest I knew that it was at was during that whole Kardashian thing with the young lady that Jada knows and the Smith family knows. I was like, what? 114 million views. So I was like, okay, well, that has to do with corona virus and stuff. And then I looked at some of the video that had like 40 something million views. I don't know if that was the one with Snoop Dogg and Gayle King. I'm not sure. I think that one's 20 million. And I was just like, okay, I was expecting that Red Table Talk, would just go away in the breeze, because I was looking at the amount of people looking at these things, just kind of going down, still in the millions, but going down, and it's not. So surprise. But the one that I saw was the one with Girls Trip, like I'm talking about, and it was Queen Latifah and Tiffany Haddish, and I can't remember what's her name, but basically everybody from Set It Off, replacing Vivica Fox with Tiffany Haddish. And when I was watching Girls Trip, I just liked that it harkened back to that Set It Off. I was just like, that is so nice. And I don't know where Vivica Fox is, but she would have been nice. It would have been nice. Not that there's anything wrong with Tiffany Haddish. I like her. I don't know if I always like her comedy, but I enjoy her more often than not. I've enjoyed the movies that I've seen with her, except for the one from Tyler Perry. That one was not to my liking. Yeah, I hope that things go well with Tyler Perry. I mean, his studios and everything, but his movies sometimes, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, great. Some of those others, maybe not so great. But I thought at the beginning, I'm like, okay, there's these 4 women, and I'm gonna watch them, and I don't know if I'm gonna laugh so much, if it's gonna be okay or what. But I watched that thing from start to finish, and there are a couple of times when my smile waned a little bit. I felt it waning, or I felt one of the ladies waning, but I just waited 5 more seconds, and I was just laughing again from some silly thing one of them would have said. I liked especially that there was a thing where they were asking questions about each one of them, and they were like, who's the most likely to cry? And everybody was like, Jada. And it was like, Somebody could be saying some misogynistic lyrics about whoever in their song, and Jada is gonna just start crying. Why would you listen to that? And I always thought that was so hilarious because Jada always seems. And I just finished looking at this episode that they had. That was a lot of people. I think that was the one with 45 million views about dealing with addiction during this time. And at the end of it, Jada was like, if you're not doing it for yourself, I remember I did some of these things for my kids, and she just started crying again, like, on the point of crying. And I was just like, yeah, that's funny. And of course, Tiffany Haddish was outlandish as normal. That's funny. And geez, I wish I had stopped for a second to remember that lady's name. But unfortunately, she's not as big as everybody else. Latifah is Latifah, living single, however many movies. Tiffany Haddish is up and coming. She's been in a couple of movies herself. What's her name? Jada Smith. She's been in a couple of movies on her own. Her and Spike Lee and stuff. Not Spike Lee. What's his name? Tupac. Sorry. And I'm just thinking of somebody was asking if Will had ever gotten on well with Tupac, and Will was just like, well, I know that Jada and him, they grew up together, and he might have missed his chance to get in there. So I guess that was always a little tension in between us, and I'm always sorry that I was never closer to him. Blah blah blah. That was just a funny exchange. But then, the other lady, I guess she is not as big as the other three, so I don't remember her name. But what was pretty interesting, they were talking about celebrity crushes, and of course, everybody said who they were crushing on except for Latifah. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess she's not gonna say anything because she's feeling, there's the rumors about the fact that she is a lesbian, and it's no big deal to me. But I'm sure she grew up in a time, and especially, minority people are going to be a little bit more sensitive to being gay, or than the majority people, and than white people per se. But still, I think it's just more along the lines of they're more open to saying what. I guess white people are going to say what's the PC thing to say, and then they'll say what they need to say behind closed doors. But minority people are just probably going to tell you what they think to your face, and that's going to rub people. It's going to be offensive, I guess. And especially since she's been in the game for so long and she's seen what happened to other people like Ellen, there's a price to be paid. So at one point, though, I thought, okay, well, that's the end of it. And then Tiffany's like, well, wait a minute here. La is what they call her instead of the whole Latifah. They're like, La, you didn't say who your crush was. And before, La had been like, yeah, I'm talking about some big dongs, because they had been talking about dongs and whatever. And Tiffany Haddish was like, I've been grown more appreciative of smaller penises, because smaller penises, they're going to treat you nice, they're going to be considerate, they're going to buy stuff for you, they're going to clean your house. But big penises, they're inconsiderate, they just do whatever they want to do, you can't control them. So Latifah was kind of like, yeah, I hear that, blah blah blah, da da da. But now we come to the celebrity crush, and I was like, okay, is she just gonna make up something and pretend like she wasn't avoiding the question altogether? But no, she came out and had a white lady, as her celebrity crush. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a good looking lady, nice lady. And I was like, oh, right, because everybody else, Tiffany Haddish had a long list of people. She doesn't have Drake in there anymore because apparently Drake's dad expressed an interest in her, and she was like, somebody asked about that, and she was like, listen to Drake, I'm more interested in becoming your baby's mama than your stepmama. And she's like, well, now when we see each other, it's like we're distant relatives. He's like a third cousin, and his dad is like, a distant uncle, and she's like third cousin because you can marry your third cousin. So I was like, that's funny. But yeah, Latifah she had a female crush, and I was like, okay, Latifah. They didn't go too much more than that, but then Tiffany is like, okay, well, if we're talking about women, then her female crush was Glenn Close, I believe it was. And I was like, nope, I think it was Meryl Streep. That's it. I mistake the two of them for some reason. I can't even picture what Glenn Close looks like in my head anymore. I'm just seeing Meryl Streep. But yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. She's kind of coming out a little bit. Obviously, I feel like this must be her first time. Like, she's not really too experienced coming out and saying what she's interested in, because obviously she was avoiding a question, and then she took her time to answer who a celebrity crush would have been, and everybody else was like letting her do it except for Tiffany, who had, I don't know if behind closed doors Latifah is gonna be like, Tiffany, why you do me like that, But let me tell you, it was a funny gathering. It was enjoyable. The third lady that I'm mentioning here, and I can't remember her name, she was funny too. She was kind of, as they were saying, she, I guess, is the most God focused, or what is it? Is it personal? What would you call it with respect to your religion? I don't know if it was religion exactly is the right word, but it's spiritual. That's what it is. Spiritual, I guess, is a little bit different from religious per se, because everybody wants to say religion is man-made. Anyway, so I'm really happy for Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, her husband was saying when he came on the show the first time, he was like, he's really happy that she has her thing, that that she's having so much success with it. And I mean, yes, it was about this viral, this pandemic, but 114 million views. Wow. And then 45, and then 20 in her third season. I think those are some higher numbers than the first season. I mean, take the coronavirus episode out and forget that. That was the whole family. But forget about that. Wow, that's a lot of people tuning in. So I am really happy for Jada. As far as I remember, it's so funny. It's like when Will was, after he divorced his first wife, apparently Jada had bought a farm, wherever it is that she wanted to leave Hollywood, and she wanted to go out there and be a farmer. And Will called her up, and he asked her, hey, are you with anybody? And she's like, no. And then he's like, well, you with me now. And she's like, me with my stupid self? I was like, okay. And, she's expressed, and Will has expressed the fact that at one point, for all intents and purposes, they were what we would normally call divorced. They were broken up in their marriage, is what he said. And that's tough to be in. I don't know anything about it, but it's a tough place to be in, I can imagine. And to come back from there and to be in what seems to be, anytime you ask them, she's like, this is the happiest time of my life. And when you ask Will, he's like, yeah. So for them to come back to be at this point, kudos to them. Congratulations. I'm so happy, especially as Will has a great movie out. And much happiness to them, Live long and prosper. And anyway, guys, you can wish me lucks. You can like or unlike, comment, share, and or subscribe, or do nothing. Peace.